Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. Internet security and content filtering system. Um, where I would go first here is, since COVID primarily, there's been a huge impact on where employees actually work, live, vacation, and therefore where they take their endpoint or workstation. Desktop, mostly laptops, mobile devices, tablets, things are living all over the place right now. And this is one of the first layers of responsible IT architecture, where we're talking about the user and the endpoint, and no longer being behind what I would call the golden goose or the wall, that firewall, that first item. So I'm going to go this route with this one real quick, and then I'm going to let Kris come behind and talk about specifically this solution or this layer and why it's important. I give the example a lot of times to the companies we're speaking with about the legacy banking system. And banks used to invest millions and millions of dollars into their security vaults that held all of their cash, and then protecting that vault and that cash with security cameras, significant physical security mechanisms, guards that stood on site. That's where all the time and attention was placed. And then all of a sudden, in the banking world, you had this move to online banking. And all of a sudden, I'm not trying to protect a branch at 123 Main Street. I'm now trying to protect this online website that anybody can get to at any time of day from anywhere in the world. The same thing right now is happening to organizations all over the place with their employees and where those employees work and live and vacation, and specifically protecting them as a user as well as their endpoint. And this is one of the first layers for that. So Kris, do you mind talking to us about a high-level overview of what an internet security and content filtering system is and why it's important to people as a foundational RITA offering?
Sure. So there's multiple actually uses of the system, but to your point, like this is one of these systems where we want the platform to follow the user. So they don't have to be in your office. This is something that it's considered an endpoint protection layer of security. So you can be working from your home office, you can be in your actual physical office. And we want to make sure that there's something that is paying attention to where you're going in the internet and how does it look like, right? So we do have clients who come and say, hey, we don't want our employees to go to some of the, we call it time wasters websites, right? So Facebooks of the world and things of that nature. We can do that too. And by the way, historically, that was one of the main use cases for a system like this. In this day and age, that has shifted. Frankly, employers rarely care about where the employees are going on the internet in terms of their websites. But what the biggest concern really is that a legit website? This can look like Facebook, but it doesn't have to be Facebook. This can be PayPal, or look like PayPal, but it doesn't have to be PayPal, right? And email being one of the main attack vectors still within in the world that we live in today, at least. When you get that email and that email is really not good, and that email contains a link, and you click on that link, and the link is something that you should not be clicking on, we want to make sure that we pay attention to where the link takes you. And if it's really bad, we want to make sure we can stop it. And that is really what that platform, what that control, what that system that we're talking about right now really does. So it does monitor internet access for sure. But the main use for this is to make sure that you go into a legit places in the internet that will not cause the harm to your computer, to your identity, or to the business that you're working with.